Hey, this is Kevin Cook from KCC Photography and kccactions.com, and I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how to create this photo and the whimsy look that you can achieve from using this action set. So we're going to jump right in and get started. And the first thing that I'm going to do is actually get this little spot here off of his face. Okay. So we're going to close this and I'm going to go ahead and get started. The stuff that I'm going over with you today is just like always, everything should be kind of corrected in Lightroom or Camera Raw before you get in, meaning you should have all your light, the proper exposure, and your color balance should be pretty close. Just because it's going to make your life a lot easier when you start working on this. So let's get started. So I'm going to actually start with the swirling butter, and the reason that I like to do this is because I like to make this area a lot softer. And there's a lot of things that goes into this. We're not just going to apply a single blur over the whole image. It's kind of a lot of different things going on, a couple of different filters. Now this is defaulted at 35%, and you can go up more if you want. Obviously you can have less if you want, but we're just going to go ahead and grab the base layer here with a black brush. I'm just going to erase this off. Now if you notice, as I'm erasing, it starts to get lighter in these areas as well, and that's because some of the layers that is attached to this are doing other things, like creating a little bit more, I call it butter just because that's kind of how I described it when I was trying to figure out how to do all this stuff. It had a really butter look, so I kind of stuck with that word. So that's going to give you a little bit more creamy look in the background. I'm just going to create a focal line here, and that is just because naturally there would be one. Okay, so that's our area of focus. If I cut this up and down, I'm actually going to adjust this just a little and add a little bit more of the contrast in the background. Okay, so I'll show you the before and after and what that does. And you can see that it kind of darkens it a little bit. You can cut that off if you want. You can brighten it back up if you want. So you have a lot of options for that layer. But this is going to look better for our whimsical look. Okay, so I'm just going to click back to the background layer now, and we are going to start working on the background a little bit. And I'm just going to start with the matte with ColourPop. The cool thing about this set is we figured out how to convert everything to PSE now. So just about every action that I'm showing you is available in both. And actually some of them work a little bit better, seems like, in Photoshop Elements. It's only been tested for 11 through 13. So if you have an older version, they may not work. We have no way of testing. I don't have that software. Okay. So I'm just gonna erase this off of them. I think I've probably told you guys before. Most of you, I'm sure, will know. If you hit the / key, it will bring up a masking guide, and it will show you where you are hiding and revealing your mask. And at this point, I'm actually hiding, so everything that's hidden is in red. Okay, so you can see I didn't spend a whole lot of time trying to make that absolutely perfect. And I'm just going to flip on the blue tint. You can see that it made everything a little bit cooler around the edges, but it did not affect them. If I cut this off, you can see they still look the same. And this just gives it that I don't know how to describe it, but it gives it a little bit cooler tones in the background without dragging it onto them. And that's just a preference thing. You don't have to cut that on. There's also another one that says warm, and that will actually add some warm tones. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and drop in the centered sun glow, and I'm going to put that right here in the center. And I'm going to set this to screen mode. And we're going to put this at the top, and we'll come back and kind of play with this later. Just to get the, whoops, I need to set that in screen mode. Just to get the desired look that we want. So, but that's there because we need it as a guide for the rest of this. So now we're just going to go to pop the subject. Pop the subject is probably my favorite, one of my favorite actions in the set, just because you can really create a center point in the photo and see how it's just drawing you right here into the middle. The other one is light tricks, and this is my absolute favorite, and it does some really cool stuff. It's going to brighten the center, and it's going to kill some of the edges so that it gives you a really dramatic effect. It's almost another another softening method that gives you a really creamy background, and we're just going to adjust this just to what we want. So you can see how your eyes are automatically transformed here to the center. Now, pop the subject, in my opinion, should always be at the top, just because we want to keep the contrast on those edges. And now we're just going to adjust our light just to make it look a little bit better. And you can actually come back and start to play with some of these when you are done, just to get an idea of exactly what you want. So once I've got them all on here and I have them ran, then I'm just going to kind of play around with the settings a little bit. And I am actually going to create a little bit more with the autumn. Now this is just an extra step. It doesn't need to be done. You can skip this if you want. It's completely up to you. This has got a lot of warm tones, so we're just going to kind of brush in this area where the light would be falling, basically. And we're going to do it very softly in a very low opacity. Okay, so I'm just going to use the fall colors, and I'm actually going to just paint at 100, and then I'll just adjust all of this. So we're just going to lightly brush in some more where this glow of the light is coming from. It's just going to help keep it true to the light that's falling. And then I will just pull this down. And I'm just going to use the boulder fall just to kind of bring some of the contrast back into the trees so that they do not get lost. Okay, so you saw this only takes just a few minutes, and this could look a little bit different or a lot different based on what you wanted to do from here. You can create so many different looks with this. It's not funny. It's very, very simple, very easy to use. This is a workflow set, and it was made because of the amount of sessions that I do. So I just basically stopped doing everything and kind of created like a wide range of tonal values, you know, filters, those kind of things, just so that my job was much easier from day to day. Okay, So you guys can find this at kccactions.com. Like I said, it's available for Photoshop Elements and Photoshop. And if you have any questions, just send them to Kevin at kccphotography.net. And thanks for watching.